My Hero Academia. Guys, listen.
I'm gonna be honest. I can't. I'm saying this right now. I'm sorry, but My Hero Academia and Black Clover wins this week. Period. Hands down.
I'm gonna say I have an even bolder claim. I'm gonna say probably the best chapter of My Hero Academia ever, at least in the top 3.
100% facts.
Yep.
There's nothing I disagree with this, and it was crazy. It's crazy to me because I thought it's so funny too. I literally thought that I didn't really think Hirokoshi's gonna make.
I thought it was gonna cut away, bro. I thought it was like, oh, yeah. You already saw it.
I was like, oh my god, the best decision he's ever made is making this whole chapter about his flashback.
When you open up a chapter and page 1 is a slow, detailed paneling of a dog melting, you know it's some good shit.
Bro, so this is
okay. The fucking trauma. I was reading this chapter like in shock, mouth agape, like, oh my god, like I felt just that like childlike fear. Like have you ever been in a situation where like you straight up think you're gonna die? Like I've been in a situation where, you know, like when you're like really young and your parents are fighting upstairs and like you're hearing shit crash or there was one time I was in a hospital and I heard like what I thought was a couple gunshots and I was like, I'm dead, it's happening, you know. You go into this like hyperventilating state of fear and you take that fear and you slap on the ability to dissolve shit, and it's just like, what a fucking terrifying situation. And the way he draws it, like he's melted the dog. And then his sister walks out, and the paneling, the art, the lighting, it's just like, you know, like this whole chapter, more than any other chapter, I was able to put myself in the shoes of Shigaraki here and like imagine just the fear that I would feel. Like, oh my god, I just killed my dog. And well, I guess, okay, he says, now it's kind of like a wishy-washy, he says that at the time he thought that it was another villain doing it, but retroactively, somewhere in his head, he knew it was him that did it, you know?
Oh my, yeah, I saw that. So it's just crazy. He's just like he's just bad timing, man. She's just like, oh, sorry, by the way, I snitched on you.
This is one of those like when your balls drop when your fucking like mom's giving you a bath or something.
He's just like, so. To me, this is crazy, right? Because it's just like, so humongous dramatic effect. He just killed his dog. His sister comes out. She's like, "Oh, sorry." You know, like when you're a kid and your sister tells on you and you're in timeout, but your parents are like, "Don't talk to him or come in here. He's on timeout." Then she secretly goes and she goes
out. And this shows that the sister wasn't as big of a bitch as we thought, because she came out to kind of be like, "I'm sorry," and that makes it so traumatic because she sees this dog in pieces. And, you know, understandably, you're like, so, like, because I think that she thought that her brother, out of rage, chopped the dog into pieces. That's what I would have assumed.
Yeah, because she was so it's crazy, bro. Like, his quirk was already, like, look at her quirk. His
quirk was already, this proves that from, like, childhood, it really was just an emotional state thing, right? Because there was a theory that, like, it's because of his emotional state. Because as a kid, he's doing that ground shit, right?
Yeah, so I'm like, okay. So he's probably just remembering the shit he could used to do.
Yeah, what Horikoshi's doing is he's not making it so that it's not one of those things where he ass-pulled and made his quirk all of a sudden more powerful. It's that he would always able to do this, but he just locked those memories away, and he's only now re-remembering.
Which is fucking great. So now worry about ass pulls.
So then, okay, so the sister dies, and it's just so depressing because
he is gone. See ya.
Like, so, because it's so much darker, too, because I like both interpretations are so dark. One is that he thought it was a villain, and he's, like, desperately, as the whatever, like, I don't know, 6-year-old he is, he's like, oh, please, we're trying to grab onto his family members, like, help me, Jesus, right? But then the other interpretation, if he truly knew somewhere in his head that it was him, and he was purposefully killing his family, that's fascinating, because, again, like, he talks later about how one of my favorite lines in this chapter is that, like, from his perspective, and he's kind of right, his dad was abusing him, you know? Like, his dad was an abuser from his childlike perspective. And again, he is mostly right here. Obviously, his dad, you know, had some fucked up things on his own side, but there's no excuse for doing what he did. So, you know, from his perspective, his dad's being an abuser. Why the fuck is my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, my sister, why are they all... They never said, yeah, dad's fucking wrong. Fuck dad. He's wrong. You're right. We're gonna fucking tell him. It was never that. It was always, oh, don't cry, right? It was hide your emotions from your dad. And I relate to this because I don't know how your fucking dichotomy was, but like, my dad and mom were good cop, bad cop. My mom, would listen to me, all my problems. My dad didn't want to hear it. My dad would threaten to hit me. He didn't do it much, but he was the violent one and my mom was the nice one. So it always is like that. It's sad because you want to keep, I think the parents, they want to desperately keep the relationship together. So instead of like confronting the dad about the shit he's doing, 9 times out of 10, they say, they just hide it. They push it under the rug. They say, no, hide your emotions. Don't cry. And I love that his childlike rage, because we've all had this, like, this doesn't make any sense. Fuck the world. That's so stupid, right? You get so angry at that. His childlike rage manifests to the point where he's like, I do hate everyone because there was no one I could turn to. Even my mom, who was nice, she didn't help me. She just said, shut your mouth, be quiet, so your dad doesn't hear. So that's what kind of led him to this, like, fuck it, I do hate everyone. And when he has the finally the realization where he's like, I looked at my dad, and this was the moment where I went to him to kill. I was like, I'm killing him. And
well, that was before that was after he smacked him with that. What the fuck was that shit? A fucking what? What is that? What kind of gardening tool is that?
I'm not sure, but again, at this point, I'm not blaming that dad for smacking him. I'm sorry. If you walk out and you see your wife, your mother and father-in-law, your dog and your daughter dead on the ground, you fucking knock that kid out or kill him. I'm sorry.
Well, I would kill him. I'd probably just knock him out.
I would try not to kill him, but again, I need you to put your fucking self... No, stop. Listen to me. Put yourself in this scenario. This is a fucking nightmare, bro.
This nigga said, you know what? All bars are off. Our bars are off. Either knock him out or kill this motherfucker.
I would try to knock him out, but again, this is like life or death at this point. Self-defense comes into play. I'm sorry. So, like, the dad's a fucking asshole, but, like, I do not blame him in the slightest for whacking this motherfucker with whatever this is. I'm sorry. Like, that's like oh, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean?
Because think about that. Think about it like this, right? That was the final, like, moment that that Shigaraki is probably like, oh, shit, maybe my dad will help me. The dad grabbed the weapon, sit your ugly ass down.
No, see, hold on, though. I look at it differently, because...
Because, I mean, why would you apologize, right?
No. I look at it differently. Because, look, Shigaraki, he's going towards the dad to try to touch him. This is what he's done to every single family member that's come out here. They've come out, he's grabbed them, and they've died. So, like,
he's reaching for help.
Yes, but what do you do in that scenario? You cannot be honestly telling me. Listen, man, if there's I'm telling you an example. If there's a child waving a gun around, like, help! I'm not going near that goddamn child until someone gets the gun out of their hand.
Because it's literally, the issue is that, like I said, bad timing, right? He's literally asking for help. He's reaching because he wants help.
Yeah, I get that.
If you're a child, you know, if you're fucking 5, 6, whatever years old, the only thing you know how to do is go closer to your, because you want to be embraced.
So what do you do if you're the parent and you're coming out and you can put 2 and 2 together? Okay, that hand equals death. What do you do?
I mean, his mom reached for a hug even when she was disintegrating, bro. Yeah. Look at her.
Well, then she's dumb.
Look at her. She literally, it literally shows dash on the fucking thing. She literally dashed towards him to try to hug him.
This bitch dumb.
I mean, so my point
she didn't understand this disintegration thing, bro. I'm not listening to me. You come out. Answer my goddamn question. You come out. You see this fuckery. Clearly, there's a quirk that has to do with this kid. You know, what do you do? I'm not saying you don't have to hit him, but what I'm saying, I looked at it as, like you know, like a get back, we'll figure this out, you just can't touch me right now, you know what I mean? Like my thing would, like, I would try to talk to him from afar, like, we need to calm you down, but I can't touch you because you're gonna kill me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. Like, again, the dad's an asshole, but I do not blame him in the slightest for being... Listen, man, you walk out and your wife and daughter is dead, melted into a blood soup on the ground. Are you serious? Oh, yeah. What is this fucking... Like, I know you're used to your anime love logic. Like, oh, man, just come in and fucking hug me and everything will be okay.
Ew! Don't ever play me like that. First of all, love is a useless emotion that means nothing. That's the first thing.
You're wrong, bro. No, that's not true. What the fuck?
Pessimistic views right now. Let's be honest. Anyway,
you can't truly believe that. Love means so much in real world. If there wasn't any love for each other in real life, then it'd be perpetual war constantly. And we'd all be killing you. So don't mean that. But like I'm actually shocked that you don't understand what the dad's doing here. Like you can't have him touch you.
But I mean, the issue is that all he did was I wouldn't have made it worse. Yeah, you're right. It's a smart thing to do, but literally think about it, right? Your dad just got done beating the shit out of you earlier today. Mm-hmm. And then right now you go to him for help saying he's saying, "Father, I'm sorry." He literally realizes he just killed his own family. And his one person who he was hoping, that's how you knew he had some sort of hope, right? After that smack, Shigaraki fully changed. He's like, in that fucking smack, in that moment, he literally lunged towards his father and touched his face full on. Like that shows to me that before he didn't have really much killing intent. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. But once that smack happened, he was like, "Oh shit." I've realized.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, there could have been other ways to handle it. I guess the way I read it was that he was crawling towards it because he managed to touch everyone. He touched the little sister. He touched the like he was killing everybody. You know what I mean? So like I assumed that like he's he's going up grabbing everybody just on an instinct, right?
Well, so he really grabbed the parents or his mom or the grandparents. He touched the decay.
Oh, the ground, right?
Yeah, so
right. So then it's an even better point. Then, like, there's range on this motherfucker. Like, again, maybe maybe I'm the crazy one here. I'm looking at this scenario like there's a fucking grizzly bear in the backyard. Okay, like you get the fucking stick and you say, "Back, motherfucker, back." You know what I mean? Like there's a point where therapy does not work when this man has some like OD range and he's just like disintegrating everything around him like he just went Super Saiyan, bro.
Take notes, ladies and gentlemen. This is Red in a new form right now.
No, this is Red when motherfuckers can disintegrate me from like 50 feet away.
This is if you know Red, like I know Red, everything he's saying right now, he would not condone in real life. So this,
of course
this
not. Because real life kids can't disintegrate people. This is a whole different ballgame. You can't win this scenario. Listen, man. Again, I fuck with what this dad's doing right now. Not before this situation, but if it was me, my solution would be knock the fuck out of a kid and then deal with it. He needs to be knocked out. He doesn't need. I don't want him to die. But I was hoping that smack to the head, like, okay, you knocked him out. Now, while he's passed out, bring him to some fucking like psychiatric work hospital. I don't know what the fuck. That's what you gotta do.
Nah, let's not forget that at first this man said knock or kill.
I'm sorry. I was stressed.
Knock or kill.
Man, he just killed
Red
like
has
30
some dark
motherfuckers.
emotions. Red has some dark emotions he can only bring out during My Hero Academia.
You clearly haven't watched Chainsaw Man. No, listen. Okay. Of course, by the way, you're talking to the person who doesn't believe in the death penalty, okay? Like... I'm very much in real life not for this. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know what to do in this scenario. Like, truly. Like I don't believe... You have to understand the mental state of the father. Again, I'm not condoning the father. He's a prick. But, like, you come out... You really think he's going to be in a mental state of, like, calmness? Like, yes, I'm here to calmly deal with you like a competent parent as you have just killed my wife and daughter and... parents-in-laws and dog that I probably paid good money for. Like, you gotta understand, like, you think he's gonna be in a fucking emotional state to, like, be like, oh, let's sit down and talk about your feelings. Let's sit down among the blood and viscera of my wife.
You're right, but
I'm just looking at this realistically. Like there's no way in hell that he would be in an emotional state to do the competent thing. I agree with you. In a perfect world, you'd be like, okay, son, now calm down. It's okay. We'll figure this out. That's the best possible option. But it can't happen because there's no way, no feasible, realistic way where the dad would come out and be like, yup, everything's okay. It's all going to be all right. We're going to sit down. I'm going to talk to you like Mr. Rogers. It's going to be all good. Like, no.
What made it even worse, too, was just Tenko was reading. He was like, Father, I'm sorry. What's the first thing he does? He grabs the weapon.
Yeet!
He's like, oh, break the fucking back.
This is the one time he was warranted in hitting this bitch, bro. I'm telling you. I've been hit for less.
He grabbed the nearest weapon and knocked.
You're telling me you wouldn't do that shit? I don't believe you for a fucking second. You would either A, do what he just did, or you would hightail it the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I would hightail it enough to where the decay wouldn't reach me, but this nigga literally was violent by nature. He grabs the first weapon he sees and hits his own child. Bro, I don't give a damn what you're...
Listen, again, let me give you my personal story that I've given before. I'll do it real quick, though. When I was fucking with a BB gun and almost shot my mom in the foot, didn't even do it. I almost shot my mom in the foot. My dad beat the fuck out of me. Okay? He just walked out to his child melting his daughter and wife. I'm sorry. He can take a little fucking, like, smack to the face with a fucking club. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God. That's so funny because it was just like... Because after that, bro, he just fucking...
No, yeah, let's talk about the fucking... Bro, I can't even... Like, when he just jumps at him, like... Because, again, it's so good because the author so perfectly understands the mentality of a child. Because when you're a child, you want to bet, you want to rebel, you want to lash out, you know. So think about temper tantrums, right? Like, have you ever been shopping and there's like a kid who wants some shit and the mom's like no, and then the kid's like, meh, you know what I mean? You know that, right?
My job is full of that shit.
So imagine that, right? One of the things that's terrifying, and I love it in every fictional series, is the idea of a child getting just unbelievable powers, because those temper tantrums are only held back by the fact that they're weak. They are weak. We are stronger than them physically, so we can hold them back. They know they can't do anything because in the past when they tried a temper tantrum, you just hold them back. It's like that fucking scene, you know, it's like the short kid trying to punch the tall kid and they're just holding them back by the head, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, kids know they can't do shit. So what they, you know, rely on is just like screaming and hitting the floor. If a child knew that they could kill their parents, the sad and creepy part is a small child that age that doesn't have the maturity and doesn't understand the weight of life and death. You give them powers like this, they'll do it. You know?
Oh yeah.
And here you're just, what you're seeing is the same mentality as any other kid would have with any other temper tantrum, but the difference is he has the power to act on it. Because the scary part about temper tantrums is a lot of times the shit you do during a temper tantrum as a kid, you believe during the time, but then you calm down. So I've been like, I fucking hate you, I wish you were dead to my parents, but then like 10 minutes later I'm like, I'm sorry, I was wrong, right? That was dumb for me to say. The thing here is, in the moment, he had the power to, he had the drive, and he said, fuck it, I'm acting on it. And that is such a powerful thing. And I loved it. I loved it in Elfen Lied as well, like when children get powers, and it's just so good. And again, just to put a cap on that last conversation, of course, in a perfect society, I don't want a father hitting a child with what amounts to like a golf club, okay? Of course not.
Is that a golf club? That was definitely some gardening tool.
Yeah,
like
I don't know what the fuck it was, but like, you're right. Of course, that'd be better if he didn't do that. But again, the way I looked at it was like, oh my god, like, I don't know what this power is. If he gets near me, I might die too. Like, I'm picking this thing up as a defensive, like, stay back kind of weapon. That's how I looked at it. Because he was crawling towards him, right? So, like, that's how I understood it. And like, if you're in fear, if you're in a moment of, like, what the fuck's happening, you might do something like that. And I don't hold it against the father, just like I don't hold it against my father for whooping the fuck out of me when I almost shot my mom with a BB gun.
Craziest too, he has a quirk. Why didn't he use it?
I assume it. Do we know what his quirk is? Has it ever been revealed?
I think, I'm gonna be honest, I think that's just I wouldn't say a plot device. I'm gonna say plot device because I mean, technically speaking, like if your whole temper tantrum argument works, but then again, it can be counteracted by the fact that, because Bakugo's mom is a perfect example of this, right? Bakugo has temper tantrums all the time, but she fucking fights back.
Well, yeah, but like, again, yeah, that's the thing, right? Because here's the thing. First of all, Shigaraki's quirk is way more potent than Bakugo's. I'm sorry. We've never seen Bakugo blow someone up to the point where, like, a limb blows off. You know what I mean? Well, okay, maybe on, like, monsters. I don't know. You know what I'm saying, though? Like, Bakugo ain't going up to people, grabbing them in the head, and then blowing their head up like fucking Indiana Jones, like, when their fucking heads melt off. You know what I'm saying? Like...
I need that now. Indiana Jones, Bakugo.
Point being, right, like, I'm not sure how potent Bakugo's quirk is, but, like... He certainly doesn't have the range that fucking 10-year-old Shigaraki has, you know? And
it's just funny. It's just like you have a quirk, like I said.
But no,
it's
but
just
his
plot
quirk
device.
might be shitty. This is a conversation we had a couple fucking weeks ago. He might not. His quirk might be. Think about what Baku or Deku's mom's quirk is. It might be something just like that.
Just
his quirk might be like, oh, I can control the TV with my hand. I don't need a remote. Woo!
Just use it to beat the fuck out of your kids from a distance.
My quirk is I gain more powerful the more I abuse my child. See, that's what it was. He was fucking activating his quirk by smacking the fuck out of his kid.
Oh god, we are horrible people.
It's a fictional series. Listen, man, comedy is based on it's dark, right? Like, funny shit is dark humor. But if you know the heart of the person saying it, and you know they're just saying it for a laugh, it shouldn't be an issue. And also, if you're going to make dark humor, make it about fictional characters, because you can't hurt their feelings. You can only hurt people's feelings that want to get their feelings hurt for fictional characters.
Oh, yeah.
Like people that want to go on Twitter and be like, well, I can't believe the fictional character Endeavor is a good guy now. This makes me angry. It's ruined my whole week.
Someone's waiting for all the... She's waiting for that toxic...
Are you normalizing?
To come on here and tell us...
Are you normalizing abuse? Oh, my God. Oh. It's almost like, it's a fictional character. By the way, these motherfuckers that are like, oh my god, they're normalizing abuse in a fictional series. I guarantee you they're the same fangirls that are like, oh my god, Loki's so hot. He murdered thousands and millions of people, but I'd let him fuck me hard. Like, it's the same people.
Yeah, the same people who are now shipping Yuno and Asta because, two male people can't be friends. Or Doll and Killer effect. I know you saw that on Twitter.
Or my personal, and there's also like, I don't want to fucking, I'm done. I'm gonna fucking get into hot water. Yeah.
We're already in hot water. We might as well just turn on the bubbles and let it sizzle.
The realm of fiction is beautiful because it's fiction and it can't hurt anyone. So shut the fuck up. All right. Now let's talk about manga stream page 15. Can we just appreciate this art?
Oh yeah, page 14 of my official manga app.
It's already... Oh, God, I forgot.
It's Sunday, bitch. And it's funny, too, because now we're on official manga for My Hero Academia, so we haven't filmed none of our discussions. So that means that official manga...
Shut the fuck up.
Official manga for all the manga this week.
All right, listen. Fucking that art, bro. Like, he's just because, again, like, you don't really see this a lot in real life where a kid can act on that temper tantrum and act on that rage. So I love seeing him, like, it's all these years of being, like, pushed down and abused by his father, and he can finally get back at him. And it's just the fucking elation at the time, I love it. But as we... Go ahead, sorry.
And I like the last page, too. And, like, his because you look at it, just like that, the itch was gone. Look at that satisfied, creepy look on his face. Like, you could tell, like, after he killed his father, he felt at peace, right?
Oh, like, yeah. Well, think about it, man. Like as a child, you simplify the world quite a bit, right? So if he's... What keeps little tiny Shigaraki up at night? Mostly his father. So he probably had the false idea that, oh yeah, my father, that's what causes all the suffering in my world. If I get rid of him, life's easy from here on out, He didn't think about it thoroughly.
So what's interesting to me now is like, this correlates to him going to the story, everything. So I want to know, like, after we know this stuff, I want to know, like, the most bigger picture ever, right? Because now that we know his backstory, how does this really applicate to him now, per se? Because we know he wants to destroy everything.
I think we kind of know that already. I mean, like, again, I see it as... The way I've always looked at him now, ever since the last couple chapters, is that he's a person that never evolved mentally from his childlike mental state because One for All didn't want him to. He kind of, like, stuck him in a place where he would never evolve mentally. So, like, he's a man-child. We learned about this, right? So, like, he's someone who has never evolved from that state of mind, and I think he's just always going to have, like, the childlike state of mind where he thinks that just, the solution, he just wants to he just wants to have one big temper tantrum, basically. What he just did to his family, he wants to do to the world, because it gave him such elation, and remember, what do we know about him? Whenever he's feeling stressed, he likes to project it on other things that aren't actually causing his stress. So he was like, All Might's making me stressed, and now he's like, no, it's everything's making me stressed. So he feels stress and he wants to project it out into the world. Like, oh, it's just because this world sucks. That's why I'm stressed. Fuck it. Let's end it all. It's just that it's the childlike mentality that you see now in this flashback moving on to nowadays where he just wants to do the same thing he did on a larger scale. That's how I see it.
Yeah. I can dig it.
And keep in mind, we've already seen the aftermath of this. Because remember, we saw where he was brought in by the doctor and One for All into that room, and he was like, "Oh, here's the hands of your family," because he had regressed it, and then he remembers it in that room again. Remember?
Oh yeah.
And when he remembers it, he has like another puking moment, another like shocked moment, right? So like you see how many times he regresses this and remembers and regresses this and remembers. So like it is fascinating because like at the time he's like, "Yes, I want to kill my father," but then when he remembers that he did, he's shocked again. So it's very interesting that. It's not like I decided to kill my father that day and I was just chill with it ever since. Like he had a lot of back and forth and like shocked mentality from it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It was just like one of those it's like you see this a lot in like live action shit. It's like people are in the moment, they're like they get people so angry they do shit they usually wouldn't do when they're level headed, right?
Yes.
So like
I know this very well.
And then once they do that, they're like, "Oh shit, what have I done?" type shit.
Yes.
I've had that happen before, So
100%.
it's the same thing.
And I love stories that amplify that because like all we can do is punch someone or our world's version of like a quirk is like a fucking AK or like one of them like guns that we can kill a bunch of people, right? Like when someone gets angry and they have one of those, then they can really do some damage, and then I assume a lot of them are like, "Oh my god, what did I do?" after the fact, so and that's why it goes back to one of my favorite scenes in My Hero period when he's in the mall, and his metaphor he made was like, how can you all be so comfortable with quirks? It's like everyone's walking around with fucking weapons in their pocket just at all times, and that really ties back well to this where he's he just sees, I don't know, like I love it because his backstory is that his quirk just activated at a time that fucked his entire life up, and it makes sense that he would kind of look at quirks as like it really is just like everyone's walking around with like the means to act on their silly little temper tantrums, and it's a shock that our world doesn't have more crime, and the only thing holding our world back from more crime is this hero system, this false sense of security.
Go.
What's up?
Nothing, I was just bursting.
Okay, so final thoughts, predictions, Thurman.
Oh, baby. So, we're getting back to the fight. The Gigantum, the Hulk is gonna shake, he's gonna shake this man.
Yeah, so
like
remember, our theory, we've still been waiting for this, is that we want Giganta, or whatever the fuck, the Hulk boy, to just come in and just go right for Shigaraki. We think, because it'd be hilarious if they're like, yeah, he's gonna be a decoy for us, it'll be great. I'm expecting him to go after Shigaraki like it's fucking Loki and just go.
Get your ass back here, I ain't done with your ass yet.
Shigaraki's like, oh, finally I can have a little fucking rest from fighting. Nope.
He's like, wait, you haven't proven yourself to me.
Although now, see, that's the thing though, right? Because now he's so much more powerful because of all this revelation. He might just fucking grab this bitch and melt the fuck out of him and be like, all right, proven enough, bitch.
You came to the wrong city, motherfucker.
I can see it. Like, oh yeah, since we met last, I re-remembered my traumatic flashback, and we all know in anime that means shit's about to get real.
Oh, this is fucking hilarious,
I just
bro.
had my Nico Robin I want to live moment.
I want to live.
Sweet. All right.
Oh, 10 out of 10 chapter, man.
Yeah, I'm going to say this will go down as one of the best chapters in My Hero Academia history, easily.
So good.
This was
Hirokoshi Sabachi is giving us this jizz-worthy chapter, man. Oh. One arc ends, another arc continues.
And with that, peace.
Peace.